What's good, y'all? It's Noble. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down a song I have called Mount Athos. Mount Athos or Athos is a very holy place to Greek Orthodox people. So in this beat, I wanted to sample something from my faith and really bring that out more. I have this vocal chop here. I'm going to explain how I took it and flipped it. I started by adding a lot of counter melody aspects, and then we took that and flipped it into a new FLP. So I'm going to break that down. So first, I'm just going to play the vocal sample soloed. So I felt like that as a sample has a lot of emotion behind it. First, of course, because of what they're actually saying. I'll put the translation on the screen. But of course, also the minor aspect of the harmonies, and I thought it sounded very ominous. So I wanted to bring that out more. So the first thing that I did was added this piano. And as you can hear, there's an LFO on it, using Shaperbox for that. Just a basic LFO. So to give the sample a more orchestral feel, I'm using a lot of different strings here. The first one I have is a lead violin, and we're using the ambient violin phrases bank here. Now that sounds really good, but it needs some movement and body to it. So in order to achieve that, we're going to the Albion 1 string bank in Kontakt and using the Cole Legno preset. I usually put it pretty close, and you'll see how that MIDI sounds with that high violin. And then to really accentuate those silences or those spaces, we're trying to make some call and response here. So we're using this tremolo preset pretty close as well. These are just playing simple chords. I'm gonna play what that sounds like with everything but the vocal. Now we'll play that with the vocal and we'll move on to the next FLP. Okay, so in this next FLP, you can see that there's kind of a lot going on, but it's actually pretty simple at its core. I really like to make beats in the playlist because I feel like it gives it a lot more bounce and realisticness most of the time. The other thing about using the playlist is that you can always do fades, whether it's percussion or on your sample stem, and that can make things sound a lot more cohesive. I've also chopped the vocal in certain parts, as you'll hear. For example, on the drop, it sounds like this. So for the percussion, I wanted something that sounded realistic because this is a monk who is singing this vocal sample, and a lot of monks spend their times in the wilderness and they're secluded. So I wanted something that sounded like a more natural sounding percussion. With the other percussion loop, we get this. So as we add more drum layers, you're going to hear the sound get a lot more full and also a lot more gritty because that's the sound that I was going for. And then we add in the 808, we get this. Here's that same section with the sample. So leading into this next section here, we have some staccatos that are chops. And the staccatos is my friend Chef Dior, who is a very, very talented composer. He also did these legatos that are going to come in around 33. I feel like what he added makes everything sound very full and cohesive and also gives it a lot of drive and power. So here's what those staccatos sound like. So there's lots of places throughout this song where I wanted to create energy in different forms. So I'm using risers and impacts and reverses on kicks to achieve that. Also, things like drum fills can achieve that same purpose. Something that I love about affecting your patterns once they're already in the playlist is that you can cut up patterns that you've already built, such as with the bass. And that's what I've done here, just basically chop the pattern up, but it's given it a new bounce. And with everything that section. There's also this little glitch technique that I've done with the staccatos using Shaperbox. But yeah, that's pretty much it for how I made my Monothos. I appreciate you watching. If you'd like to get some unique, gritty sounds like the ones used in this video, go to thevisionsounds.com. We got drum kits, sample packs, one-shot kits, and more on the way. And yeah, that's about it for me. Peace.